Good evening. We're going to look today at combining like terms some more, which is the directions are going to say simplify expressions. And we want to pay close attention to order of operations. So just as a little review, order of operations, P stands for parentheses, P-A-R-E-N-T-H-E-S-I-S. E stands for exponents, E-X-P-O-N-E-N-T-S. And instead of doing PEMDAS, I just do PEMA, because the M and the D, you do whichever one that comes first, depending on which one's furthest to the left. So that's going to be multiplication or division, and depending on which one is furthest to the left, so that's from left to right. And then last but not least is addition and subtraction, also from left to right. Okay, so when we look at the first example, we've got parentheses, so we're going to look inside the parentheses, and there's two things to do there, so we have to follow order of operations inside there, and exponents comes before addition, so we're going to do 2 times 2 times 2, which is 2 times 2 is 4 times 2 is 8, and then we can go ahead and do 8 plus 5, so we get 13 inside the parentheses. So now let's bring everything else down. 15 minus 13 plus 2 times 4 to the 4th divided by 8. So next we go to exponents. 4 to the 4th, which is 4 times 4 times 4 times 4. Now, I'm going to leave that there for just a minute. You could go ahead and multiply that out and get, let's see, 4 fours. That's, let's see, 16, 64, 256. Okay, but I'm not going to multiply that out yet, because this right here is all multiplication. And we've written the exponent out anyway, and we multiply, and then we're going to divide. Well, I could multiply that all together, but why multiply it together when I'm going to divide out an 8 and get me this great big number? Why not just divide out the 8 this way and say, well, 2 times 4 is 8, so I'm going to divide that 8 by this 8, and so I'm left with 4 times 4 times 4, which is 64. You can do it your way and go ahead and multiply all that out, and then multiply by 2, then divide by 8, you'll still get 64. Go ahead and try it. So then I'm going to bring down the plus. I've already done the 2 times 4, so that's all gone. So I have 15 minus 13 plus 64. So 15 minus 13, we're going left to right now, is 2, plus 64, which is 66. All right, so let's look at our next example. This time, we've got some variables involved. But again, we're going to go parentheses first. So I can't combine these, but I can combine these. So I'm going to say 2 squared, which is like 2 times 2, which is 4. And 4 plus 10 is 14. Then I'm going to bring everything else down, divided by 7, plus 3x, plus 6 times, I can't add x plus 2 because I don't know what x is, so can't do anything inside that parenthesis. But now I'm going to, there's no exponents, so multiply and divide. Well, here I divide, this is addition, addition, and then here's some more multiplication. So I can do these two separately. So I'm going to go 14 divided by 7 is 2, plus 3x, plus, now I can multiply 6 times x plus 2. What property would I use there? I would use the distributive property. Even though I can't combine them, I can distribute that 6 and say 6 times x is 6x, plus 6 times 2 is 12. So right here I just used the distributive property. Alright, so now I can combine like terms, and normally we move like terms together. So I've got a 2 here, which we call a constant, since there's no variable on it, and we got a 12 here, which is a constant. So I'm going to move this 2 over here next to this 12. Now what property says I can do that? Whoops, 3x plus 6x plus 12 plus 2. That's called the commutative property of addition, right? I can move them around if it's all addition. So now I'm going to combine these two like terms. I have 3x's and 6x's, so I just add the coefficients. So that's 9x's added together, or 9 times x, plus, and then 2 plus 12 is 14. So my final answer is 9x plus 14. That is simplified. All right, our last example. We've got, in parentheses, we have two terms that are not alike. One of them is a y, one of them is x. So we don't know what the x and y equal. They could equal different things, so we can't combine that because we don't know what they are. So the next thing is multiplication. Well, there's nothing here because I don't know what x is, don't know what y is, so I can't multiply those, and everything else is addition or subtraction. So I can multiply this 3 times 2y plus x, so I use the distributive property there. 3 times 2y is 6y, plus 3 times x, which is 3x, and then plus 6x minus 3y. I'm going to go ahead and make that plus negative 3y because we want to make everything addition so we can move like terms together, and the only way we can move is if it's all addition. So now commutative property says I can move the 3y with a 6y, so I'm going to go 6y plus 3y. The 3x and the 6x are together. I'm going to put those out here because we normally go alphabetical order when we're combining like terms. So I really should put the 3x and the 6x out here. So 3x plus 6x plus, and then the 6y and the 3y, negative 3y, my bad, sorry about that. And then plus 10, there's no other constants. Now, there is nothing in front of, wait a minute, yes there is, forget it. Okay, so coefficients. Now we're going to combine 3x's and 6x's, add coefficients, that's 9x's, plus 6y's and negative 3y's is 6 plus negative 3 is 3y's, and then plus 10. So there's our final answer. All right, so when you come in tomorrow, what I'd like for you to do is get a prize ticket and make sure your name's on it and draw a peace sign. So you're going to draw a peace sign like this. And I will know, don't tell anybody you're putting a peace sign on it, just they're going to think you're giving me a prize ticket, and if they haven't done it and they try to give me one too, they're not going to know to put the peace sign. Make it really small so nobody can see it. Okay, all right, so see you tomorrow.